Good morning, beautiful people. We're going to jump right into a message today from love energy, creator energy, light energy, the God of your understanding. And we are going to jump right in. So we're looking for guidance, for support, and for clarity on what our next step should be as we move into creating something that is more vibrant, that is more full of connection and unity and dignity, and where no one is left behind. So as I'm tapping in, I'm just going to kind of go word for word of what I'm hearing. And what I'm hearing is Spirit, wants to give you all a moment of pause. It is time to move forward with every step we take, but this constant movement towards our true and authentic selves, where we're going to be able to give the most back to the community, where we're going to be able to do the most good, where we're going to be able to shift the energy the most significantly. Yes, it requires waking up every day and moving forward. Takes waking up every day with a commitment to stepping even further and further into our path. But they want us to know that as we are walking this path of true self-actualization, walking this path of true authenticity, that there are many benches placed along the way so that we can take a time to rest and breathe. And this is going back to a message that came through earlier this week of this movement towards creating something different, towards creating structures, towards creating communication pathways, towards creating moments and experiences that are heart inspired rather than mind inspired. This is a long journey, and this path of pushing back, of giving people space to be their true and authentic selves, no matter what body they were born into. This path of isolating and containing those who are refusing to go inward, who are addicted to the power, addicted to the sensations of being seen and feared. Those folks do need to be contained. So there's multiple things that need to be going on in this journey. As we're moving down those pathways, Spirit wants us to know that there are spaces where we are meant to rest and refuel. And this is the joy that they always bring into this conversation, these spaces. We should be searching out moments of joy, of inspiration, of connection, of community, because that is the fuel that's going to keep us moving. That is the fuel that's going to keep us moving in a direction where we're not giving over to fear, where we're not giving over to the pull of pride and ego and greed and hoarding, right? Those moments of joy and pure connection where we're able to recognize the humanity within others and recognize the humanity within ourselves are so important. And and this is what I'm hearing word for word. That is why the arts are so important. That's why some of you who are listening to this today, your job is to help create those benchmarks where we sit and we reflect. And sometimes the arts are meant to show us ugly truths about where we are in the world, show us where our own shadow is, show us where our own healing needs to take place. But there is a space, believe it or not, where the arts are meant to still inspire. The arts are meant to still feel whimsical and feel freeing and feel like they open up space for us, that they're meant to allow us to think outside the box, that they're meant to allow us to hope and desire and start planning for something better. So it's really important that as we're going on this work, again, that we're not all doing it from the intellect, that the arts are really important. So for those of you who aren't artists, find that music that speaks to you. Find the visual arts that speak to you. Put it in your office space, put it in your bedroom, put it in your relaxing space. These things that speak to you and fill your soul with joy, no matter how childish and silly and non-deep they are. Find the things that bring the the characters, whether they're in a book, whether they're in a play, whether in their movie, the ones that inspire you and hold some of the clues to who you are in your brightest and best state. Pull that things in and allow yourself to be whimsical, and allow your interaction with the arts in this time to be freeing. Also, find your local artists in your community. Who are the people that are doing this work? They're being called to it to help free you, right? Whether that's by going deep and helping you reflect and see some of those things that need to be pulled to the surface and released, which we talked about in a previous video, or whether it is really just creating space and joy for you to have joy, for you to have whimsy, for you to have these moments of seeing things that are not yet in existence, seeing them in a piece of artwork, right? Look for those people in your community, build your community around them. If you are an artist in this moment, you also need that whimsy. You also need those joy moments. You also need those moments of inspiration and silliness and playfulness and joy. So make sure that you're finding those for yourself. If you are feeling called to do the hard work of exposure, how are you also pulling in some of that whimsy? Not necessarily for your audience, but for yourself. How are you doing that for yourself? Because if you are caught up in this energy that is calling you to expose, which if you feel it, it is your calling at the moment, right? But if you're caught up in that, you can easily, because you're surrounding yourself by it, you're trying to get deep and think into these systems and these ways of thinking, these ego bubbles. If you're pulling into that, that is going to start seeping into your soul, seeping into your being, seeping into your energetic centers. So grounding release work is really important for you if you're doing this hard work, but it's also important for you to pull in that whimsy. And if you can't create that art and that whimsy and that lightness of being for yourself in this space, make sure you're leaning on other artists who are called to be doing the whimsy. Make sure you're engaging with their work, because that is going to help keep you settled and keep you with the energetic frequency that is needed to sustain your effort. So whimsy is important. Silliness is important. Playfulness, beauty, joy is all important as we're creating and forging a new path. The path of separation, the path of control, the path of oppression that is so dominant right now in the storyline, there is no space for whimsy. There's no space for playfulness. There's no space for imagination and joy and silliness. You can see just in press conferences and in ways that actors approach people in inflatable costumes and in costumes in general, or people who are expressing themselves and they're expressing their joy through their hair color, their tattoos, the clothes they wear. You can see how aggravated that it makes folks who are taking themselves too seriously in this world of oppression. It's because it breaks through. That whimsy breaks through and reminds them that life isn't one big puzzle of domination, that there are other aspects of life, and when they see it on the forefront, it throws them off a little bit, and they have to push back and squash it. And it's harder to control and manipulate people who have a sense of humor, who believe in joy, who believe in playfulness, who believe in connecting people through community, because it's easier and more potent to connect people through joy and light-filled stuff that moves people forward than it is for fear, because fear shuts people down. Fear causes people to isolate themselves. Even though it's a common experience, it doesn't propel emotion forward. So be whimsical, be playful, lean on your fellow artists. Realize that art is so important, that creation in this realm is so important to fuel the creation of whatever comes next. We're going to leave you with light and love with that. Go find your favorite artist today. Put it as your screensaver. Go to a local craft fair Get online, look at local artists in your area, and tell them that you're thankful that they exist with you at this time. Have a great day, everyone.